Okay, YouTube, Muzz back again, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial slash tips and tricks guide on Season 3's version of Hwoarang. So let's get right into it. First move we're going to do, obviously the most obvious change, is his new 13 frame punish. Mid natural combo, 25 damage on hit. As I mentioned before, it is only 25 damage, which I wasn't too impressed with, but whatever, it's still a 13 frame punish. Usually you'd expect either a knockdown or at least 30 damage from a 13 frame punish, but not in this case, I guess. Now obviously if you use it properly as a punish, you can just go straight into mix-ups and whatnot. But if you are just going to randomly throw it out, I wouldn't really suggest that because it is very punishable, but there are a couple of things you can do to minimize your risk if you want to throw it out. Now if your opponent blocks and you don't press anything, you're going to get launched. If your opponent has any idea what they're doing. So you could try something like this. You could try down forward 1-3 into a back 1, but again the back 1 has been nerfed, so even then that's not a very clever option, to be honest. Or you could try, if you think they're going to try and jab you out of it, you can just try high crush like down 4. Or you can try straight into a power crush, which you may get lucky and power through it, or even the back 3 power crush. But yeah, this is the things you want to do if your opponent actually guards the move. Which, if you're using it as a punish, they won't be able to guard. But if you do want to just throw it out, like I say, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you do want to do that, then you kind of have to press a button afterwards, or you're almost guaranteed to get launched. So at least if you was to press back 3, what was it? If you was to press this power crush here, I think that's minus 14. So it is launch punishable, but not very. Whereas this, I believe on block, is minus 15. So you do want to be pressing a button after that just to kind of guarantee you won't get launched. Or, I say guarantee, minimize the risk of getting launched. So yeah, that's that really. That's all I can say about that move. You're supposed to use it only as a punish, like I say. So if you do want to go and throw it out, if your opponent blocks it, you're then going to either have to A, press a button and, like a back 1 or the power crush to get out of it. Or you can try and condition them. If it's something you want to do, if this is a move you do want to use as just a random throw out move, then what I would suggest doing early on in the matchup between you and whoever your opponent is, always press a button afterwards, like maybe a power crush or maybe a back 1, basically because they're both punishable, right? So if your opponent sees you, as soon as you do this, if your opponent sees you instantly pressing a button after you've done it, then he's going to wait for you, which will then give you time to just go into normal pressure. So you can condition your opponent to wait for you if you, literally just keep doing that, but that will cost you a bit of damage, because you're going to get punished the first few times you do that. However, it can be worth it because it'll make your opponent back up and wait for you to press the button after you've done this new move. So yeah, there's just a few options you can do there. But yeah, ideally, just use it as a 13 frame punish. Yeah, that's all I can say about that, really. Okay, now, next up, these moves here, his back turn plasma blade, I think that's what it's called, it's basically his back 3 variants. I've now had a big buff in the sense that they will always hit grounded opponents, which means not only has that move been buffed, but Hwoarang's entire grab game has now been buffed, because if you were to do this, and then spam 4, I'm spamming 4 right now, that's guaranteed, right? So that grab is 2+4, it's basically this grab, it's his side switch grab, it's 2+4, but you hold back as you press it, so it's back 2+4, and then if you just spam 4, you're guaranteed that hit, and if they press a button, you'll even get a launch. So yeah, that alone, now Hwoarang has a viable grab. Obviously you've got his Flamingo grab, you've got his quarter circle back 3 grab, you've got his right foot forward grab, and now this, which is a 2 break. Oh, sorry. And now this. No, I will get that right. This, which is a 2 break. It now makes the opponent kind of, most people that fight Hwoarang, they'll be looking out for this grab, or for this grab. This one here, they always look out for that, and people break it a lot. But it doesn't matter because it's safe to throw out, and if they break it, it's a good little, it creates distance. So even if they break it, it doesn't matter. But now he's got this. It changes his whole grab game, because I don't know about you, but when I fight other Hwoarang players, I never look out for this move. I just don't expect them to throw it. And if they do, I think, well, it'll probably only be once or twice. I mean, some people use it a lot, I know, but it's just not a common grab. But now it's going to be. Now you've got the guaranteed back 4. Why is it doing that? Something wrong with my back button. Anyway, now it's got the guaranteed grounded 4. You've got a big buff to your throw game there. So this move, just having the buff on that one move, has in turn really given Hwoarang's entire throw game a great big buff, which is awesome. Because Hwoarang's always had really good throws, right? Always. He's always had a complete set of grabs, and now they're even more viable. Yeah, so awesome. And guaranteed hit. So yeah, that's that one. There you go. That's the launch. Anyway, that's that. Left Flamingo stance done by. Oh right, this move here. This isn't actually got anything to do with season 3, but it's something I've always wanted to be talking about. Something I always forget to mention in previous videos I've done. This is one of Hwoarang's best counter hits, believe it or not. Well, one of his best non-launching counter hits, anyway. So you get the free forward 3 after it, but you see there where the opponent tried to get up. If your opponent presses a button, you actually get 2 free hits after this instead of 1. So you get the free that, and then see that? Because he pressed a button, I get another one for free. So yeah, you get this one for free, and then you've got a good chance of getting a second one for free as well, depending on what the opponent does. But it's safe to try the second one anyway. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, that first one's guaranteed. So even if they roll out the way of that second one, there's very little chance of them punishing you for it. And even if they do, it'll just be a wake-up kick. So yeah, remember, you got the counter hit, free hit, and then they press the button, so another free hit. So yeah. Oh, also, it's worth mentioning, I've just mentioned this, you get the free hit after this. It's worth trying a forward 3 afterwards, because they can get up and block it, or they can roll out the way, but it's safe to try. So yeah, same situation there really. After you grab, you've got your free grounded move, and then it's worth trying a forward 3 afterwards, because there is a chance you may get another free hit if they press the wrong button. So yeah, that's that. That's that. New Flamingo cancel mix. Oh yeah, right, yeah, he's got this. Now I've tried to combo with this, and it can be done, but I would only use this as a pressure tool rather than a combo thing. Yeah, trying to put this into actual juggles, just don't bother. Don't even go there. That's not what it's meant for. It is just basically a new way of getting into right Flamingo. Which is good, right? Because people always used to duck this high here. But now it's not there anymore. So you can go straight into a power crush, or into a low, or back 3. Yeah, or just some mix-ups. But yeah, that's basically all that is. It's to kind of add to Hwoarang's mix-ups. If your opponent is kind of turtling back a lot, if you've got them scared from pressure, then you can do anything you like with this, really. But yeah, if your opponent's on the defensive all the time and constantly looking for a way to interrupt, it is actually interruptible. I'll show you what I mean. If I get this Hwoarang, get the other Hwoarang to do this, repeat action, record. So if we just try and get to the fastest thing out of it, which will be a jab, right? No, wrong one. Let's finish that. Right, let's try this again. Right, so that's the absolute fastest he can do there, right? So you can jab him out of this nice and easily. But oh shit, if the move hits, oh, you still can. Oh wow, okay. I didn't think it could. I'm gonna try that again. I might have recorded that too slowly. Oh, repeat action. Ah. Record, right. Oops, yeah, sorry. Right, let's try that one more time. Record. Right, that's the fastest there. Oh, I didn't even record that. Sorry about this, boys and girls. I'm being an idiot. Record. Right. Yeah, okay. So if you've got a very impatient opponent that's constantly pressing buttons, even if you hit, it's actually not as good as I thought it was. However, the kind of less experienced Hwoarang players will probably just jab you out of that because they won't really know what they're doing. But a higher rank player will see that hit and he will probably back up and give you a chance, you know, to carry on with the string, to carry on with the pressure. But yeah, I never even realised that it is interruptible. I guess that's why you can still do this one now. I guess now that does make this one more viable, actually, because it's now no longer the only option. Now you have got the option to cancel. Maybe that does make this one more viable. Yeah, I don't know, really. I guess it probably does. I'll be honest, I haven't used it much. And I didn't even realise it could still be interrupted even after the hit. I guess, obviously, if you go for a power crush... Oh. That will... Yeah, see, that will happen. But, yeah. I haven't practiced much with that one, but you get the idea anyway. You see what it's all about. So let's stop recording now. But yeah, that's a new Flamingo cancel. Like I say, it is meant for ground pressure rather than juggles. Up 3, yeah, you've got this. I did have a new combo for this the other day. I can't actually remember what it was. What was it? Like something like this? Yeah, I think that was it after the backlash. Yeah, you can actually do it. It doesn't do much in the ways of extra damage, but you've got that as a wall carry now if you want some style points. This up 3, it's now, let's set Hwoarang to block actually. Oh, we don't need to. On block, it's now +6, which is super good. It means you can now try something like this. Oh yeah, sorry. You can now just go straight into the... sorry, not +6, +4. It's now +4 on hit, I think. Or is it 3? Where is it? Up 3. Oh no, sorry. It's +5 on block, according to my notes. So this here is now +5 on block. It was 3 or 4. It's now 5. Which means you can now, after you've done the kick, after you've done this, even if they guard it, you can go into the 3 forward pressure. Because, yeah, you've got a nice big advantage there. And also, when you want to come out of it, just 1, and then you can safely try that. Because this one here gives you +5 out of Flamingo, +5 on block, which gives you perfect opportunity to try that as a counter hit. So yeah, the up 3, basically that's that. It's not a major difference. It does make it easier to hit certain combos if you like using that in combos, which I sometimes do. But yeah, it's not a game-changing difference, but a difference nonetheless. But the +4, the +5 on block is huge. Like, yeah, it's now still your turn to attack after this, and it doesn't really matter what you try. If your opponent doesn't sidestep, you can just hammer down on them all day long. Right, so that's that. Yeah, obviously the change with back 1. The evasion is still there. As an evasive move, it still does everything it always did. It's still good for that. But the damage has been nerfed. The frame rate has been nerfed. There's no counter hit knockdown anymore. The move still has a use, but it's... Yeah. Sorry to all the inexperienced Hwoarang players, like I used to be, who would... Well, I used to use this move with Bake on Tekken Tag 2, because this used to be Bake's move when I was a lower rank. But now I don't use it as much, so it doesn't bother me that much that it's been nerfed. But it is still a very useful... Or they have still taken what was a very useful move, and they've really dumbed it down. But yeah, I mean, the evasion is still there. It still sidesteps right, and it's very fast, and it's good if you're at a frame disadvantage. You know, it sometimes overcomes a frame disadvantage. So yeah, there's always that. But yeah, if it gets blocked, even if it's hit, it's now you're -1 on hit. So it's, even if you hit it, it's no longer your turn to attack. So it's still a usable move, but you've got to be way more cautious with it now. Yeah, so yeah, back 1. That's a big hit to Hwoarang. That is a big nerf. That's probably his biggest nerf, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's his biggest nerf. Okay, up 4. Yeah, this is now +3 on block. Up 4. It used to be the only viable option was that after up 4 because it's 8 frames if they blocked. But now if they block, you can do a 1. Does it land them in crouch? I can't remember. Bear with me. Component action, repeat action, record. Oh, start recording. Alright, let's try that. Oh, I want the hit, don't I? Yeah. Okay, so I can't do anything here, I don't think. Let's try a 4-4. Yeah, I can't do anything. It lands me in crouch, so I can't do anything. So yeah, really, really good buff there. Now, because before, if you was against an opponent who knew Hwoarang's frame data, he would know that your only viable option after that is this flick kick here. So he would simply just crouch and wait for the punish. But now he knows you've got other options available. They're more inclined to kind of sit back. Hang on, stand. There we go. Yeah, now he's kind of more inclined to just kind of sit back and wait to see what you're going to do, which gives you a bit more breathing space. So yeah, what I do after block there, so I'll still do this sometimes, but maybe a jab, because even if they duck the jab, you're not in Flamingo, it recovers really quickly. There's less of a chance they're going to launch punish you. Or if you think they're just going to guard, you can just do something like this. Yeah, just a few mids. A mid there. What else you got? Yeah, there's not really much in left Flamingo. Left foot forward's a lot better than left Flamingo, to be honest. You've got the high options, but you know, high was all you ever had. But yeah, it is a big buff regardless. So yeah, I would recommend just jabbing out of it, and then, because if they block the jab, that puts you on +5, so you can do whatever you like after. But yeah, it's a good buff. It's now a much better move than it was. Up forward 2, right, this move now is +6 on block, which basically means you can now do this afterwards without exchanging hits. Before, it'd be, you'd always get the counter hit on this if your opponent pressed a button. But now, on block, it's +6, so you won't even exchange hits with them anymore. You're basically guaranteed the counter hit if they press a button. And even you can also try something like this if you really wanted to. After they block, you could try like up back 3-3. I don't know why you'd want to, it's dangerous, or up back 3-4, because that's 16 frames, so it's yeah, you may exchange hits with them actually on that. But I still think the best option is your forward 1+2. That'll still be your best option after that. It's just even safer now. Do you know what I mean? You won't even exchange hits if opponent decides to press a button. Right. So yeah, there's that. That's now +6 on block, which is amazingly good. Right, both of these moves here, his Flamingo, left Flamingo forward 3, and his wallbound, both are now +4 on hit, which means the only viable option now isn't just to jab like it used to be, where you'd exchange hits. You can now you can safely try the forward 3 pressure afterwards without worrying about getting hit. Same as yeah, that works for the Flamingo forward 3 and the wallbound. Both of them now +4 on hit. Good buff. So now, yeah, before the only viable option really was to jab if you wanted to try something safe, but now you can actually try proper mix-ups out of it, which is good, which is really good. One of my favourite buffs, I think, on this season. His parry is 13 frame parry, is now -13. So if we just record Hwoarang doing some jabs. Oops. I've never used this before out of a parry, so bear with me. There you go. He's now Oops. So yeah, you now got 13 frames. If you can do the 11 frame punish for more damage, or if you want to be in left Flamingo, you can use the 13 frame punish after the parry. Doesn't really matter. Right foot forward 2-1-1. This move's been buffed. I never use this. I might start using it now because it has a buff, so it's almost worth using. It was pretty useless before. It's kind of like the Mishima 1-1-2, except it doesn't knock down. So it's right foot forward 2-1-1. It's now... I wrote this down. It's now 1 frame safer on block. So it was -9. It's now -8. And it's also 1 extra frame on hit. Like it was +2. It now gives you +3 on hit. So it's been buffed on block and hit. So this move all round has been buffed. Obviously you can do that. You could just do 1-1 instead of 2-1-1 for that one. It's all natural. Whether you do the 3 hits or the 2 hits, they're all natural combos. So yeah, you get 28 damage for all 3, or 22 damage for just the 1-1. Yeah, the 1-1. Sorry. Not much else to say about that move. It's good if you want to do after a while standing 4-4. That could be an option. It's safe, so why not? There's better things you could do, but yeah, you can use that if you want to. Not a terrible move, not a great one either, but it has been buffed, so do what you want with that. Yeah, the right foot forward 4, the evasion move here, this looks exactly the same. I can't see any difference physically, but it has apparently got been buffed. So yeah, I guess. Just trying to think. Let's do something with Hwoarang. Let's see if we can. So. Oh, sorry, that wasn't it. What am I going to do? I'm going to do that, and then the forward 4, back 3. Right, okay, so. Right, let's just try that. Doesn't seem to do much. Well, apparently it's still pretty useless. See what it does on hit. Nah, it's... Maybe Hwoarang's just good at getting around it, but I can't really see. Let's try giving him a bit more time. Nah, see, even then, it's a terrible move. It's... apparently it's been buffed, but I don't see it. It's still as bad as it always was. To be honest, I wouldn't even bother using it. I was hoping it was going to be good when I read the patch notes, but yeah, it's supposed to be evasive, but well, you've just seen it's really not at all. It's not like this one. Like this one here, the forward 3. That's amazing. Because even if you're minus on frames, you know, even if you're at minus, this can still evade quite a lot. It's a high crush and a sidestep. But this one, yeah, they say they've buffed it, but I guess terrible times 2 is still terrible, right? So ignore that. Right foot forward. Yeah, that's what I've just done. Forward 4. Right forward 4, 4, 3. Right, this one here. You now no longer get the... I've mentioned this before. You now no longer... Let's just put him to block. Yeah, you no longer get the guaranteed follow-up. It's -3 rather than -13 or 14, whatever it was. But you can kind of spam it if your opponent isn't sidestepping now, which is fun. But the best thing about this move is the opponent can no longer crouch the high, which, like I've said before, for an experienced Hwoarang player, that is a buff. For a less experienced Hwoarang player, that's a nerf. So it depends on where you are on the scale, depends on how that affects you. Obviously, the reason it's a nerf is because you no longer get the 2 back 4 after it. But the reason I consider it a buff is because they can no longer duck the high, sorry. Which means by a wall, you've gone on by the balls, basically. There's nothing that you're +3 after that hit. And it lands you right foot forward, right? So you could try down forward 4, which is 13 frames. I think. So yeah, just for wall mix-ups, obviously, if you're not at a wall, it will create space, which is a good thing. And if you are at a wall, it creates pressure, which is an even better thing. So yeah, I consider that a buff. I really consider that a buff. And last thing I wanted to talk about, not actually anything to do with Season 3, but it's something I've been meaning to mention for a while. This move here, right, he's while standing 4-4. On paper, one of the best 11 frame punishes in the game. Or sorry, one of the best while standing 11 frame punishes in the game. But it's only that good if your opponent doesn't sidestep. All Hwoarang players above a certain rank will be familiar with this. You'll block a low, you'll do while standing 4-4, you go for the follow-up, your opponent sidesteps and launches you. Particularly players like Lily and Elisa. So yeah, if your opponent's not confident in sidestepping, this is an amazingly good punish. You know, it leaves you at like +7. However, if your opponent likes to sidestep, he can then condition you to use a tracking move like so. But the problem with this tracking move is, even if you hit the while standing 4-4, the tracking move is so slow, it can be interrupted with a launch, and I'll show you what I mean. Opponent action, repeat action, record. Right, so I'm going to hit, and then into that, right? Watch this. Oops, try again. Hang on. 1 second. Okay, this won't work with Hwoarang because it lands him in... Oh, actually, it might. Okay, see that? I tried that 16 frame launch and it exchanged hits with him, right? Even after that hit, even after the while standing 4-4 hit, 16 frames, I exchange hits. I exchange hits when he's +7. That is how slow this that tracking move is there. A 15 frame launch, so a hop kick basically. If you get hit with this and you've got a hop kick character, even after you've been hit with the while standing 4-4, if you've conditioned them to go for a tracking move because you're good at sidestepping, yeah, you can interrupt with a launch, which means if your opponent is strong with sidestepping, even after you've hit this move at +7 on hit, you still have to guess. You're still having to take a chance even though you're +7 on hit. Right, you've hit the move, you've got a 7 frame advantage, and you still have to guess. To me, that makes this a terrible move if you're against a good player. So if you're against lower rank players that never sidestep, yeah, you can just do this all day long and just hold them against the wall or whatever with it, right? You know, because of that +7 on hit, every low you punish, +7. But the good players seem to train themselves to immediately sidestep afterwards, which means even though you've hit that, you then have to guess 50-50. Is my opponent going to sidestep or is he not going to sidestep? And if he does sidestep, you can hit them with that, but because it's so slow, they actually have time to sidestep and block. Again, I'll show you. Has he still done what I've done him to do? Yeah. Right, so yeah. If he gets the hit. See that? I sidestepped and I had time to block. Let's get out of it. It's so slow. I was really hoping for that move to be buffed in Season 3. I think it comes out like 25 frames or something like. Even if they put it down to like 18, 19 frames, that'd be so much better. But yeah, the fact that it can be beaten by a 15 frame hop kick even after you've hit the while standing 4-4, I just think it's something wrong with that. That shouldn't happen. You know, you shouldn't have to guess if you're at +7. If you're at a +7 frame advantage, it should still be your turn to attack. But yeah, that's my only really issue with that move. So yeah, on paper, one of the best 11 frame while standing punishers in the game. But in reality, if you're against a strong opponent who sidesteps, after you've hit that, you then have to guess. It's then 50-50. What's your opponent going to do? And I just think having to guess when you're at a 7 frame advantage and you still have to guess, that's horrible. You might as well not be at any advantage whatsoever in that situation. But anyway, that's about it for this video. I've gone through all the things I wanted to go through. I hope you learned a thing or two. Yeah, yeah, I'm just going through all this, just making sure I have covered everything. I think I have. Yep, so that's Season 3 Hwoarang. The changes weren't as drastic as Season 2, but I guess he didn't really need them. He's still kind of, I'd say he's still at mid to high tier. He's not top tier, but he's definitely a comfortable mid-high, which is good enough. And yeah, that's just about it, boys and girls. Thank you for watching the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Hwoarang out.